Hi, Virlina District Conference. My name is Sean Flory Replogle. I'm the annual conference moderator for 2010, and I'm excited to be with you even through this means of technology. One of the other roles that I have outside of the moderator stuff is working with our church's youth group, and it just so happens that as I'm taping this, recording this, I am at a junior high lock-in.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Virginia.
Hey.
Hi. Happy Halloween.
How's it going?
Howdy.
Okay.
Ow,
Anyway, we're really excited to join you all the way from Kansas via this DVD. And one of the things that we wanted to just say is hello. We hope that you all are having a good district conference. Maybe it's just as exciting as our junior high lock-in. I don't know. He seems to think so. I can't even get my fingers right. Right there, yeah. That's Logan, for all of you in Virginia who want to meet Logan, and Carrick, and
Great
Daniel, and Caitlin, and Helen, and Mallory, and Emmy, and Deshawn,
Oh, yeah.
and Rebecca, and Ruth, and who else did I miss
Vince.
here? Whole bunches of folks. Oh yeah, there's Devin jumping in the background. We just want to say hi, and I'll probably add more to this
Leaning over
DVD
my
later.
back.
I'll probably add more to this DVD later, as because they're just taking over again, and we'll be back. I'll think about it. Well, I made it back to my office. The junior hires are over in the church sanctuary building, finishing up a game of sardines, and while they're doing that, I thought I'd sneak back here to share a little bit more with you all. It may seem a little weird, but I could probably claim Virlina as a home district. Some of you may know or remember the good old days. My grandfather is Raymond Eller, and the Ellers grew up on a peach farm near Roanoke on Sugarloaf Mountain. And I remember growing up as a kid hearing the stories about all the other kids out picking peaches and delivering them to the markets, and the kind of days that that was in terms of family and family values and working together as a family on a business like a farm, a peach farm. And I know that Sugarloaf Mountain is a housing development now, but I still have family down in the Roanoke area that we're able to visit from time to time, and have good memories about the stories. Last weekend, I was at something that we here in the Western Plains District call the Gathering. For us, it's a special time of getting together to be a part of a transformation movement where we feel the Spirit moving here on the plains, and hearing challenging speakers, participating in worship together, regardless of all the things that might divide us in terms of distance and geography, of generational gaps or theological differences. The Gathering has been a place where we all come together and be the body of Christ. And I was part of the leadership for the Gathering this past week, and my role was to do a workshop and a main session talking about generational differences. And I used as my example in that workshop my grandfather, who this coming March will turn 100. And just imagine the changes that have happened in his lifetime, from wood-burning stoves and ice boxes to modern refrigerators that dispense ice, and ovens and microwave ovens that cook food so conveniently for us, from horse and buggies to jet travel and travel to the moon and beyond, from mail and telegraph to internet connections and internet feeds, such as things like this. The amount of change in the last 100 years is staggering. And if I try to project that out for my own kids, as they are 7, 5, and 2 this year, and what will they see in the next 100 years of their lives? What kinds of changes? Based on the way things have developed in the last 100 years, change happens exponentially faster than 200, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. How much faster will the change be in the next 100 years? And therefore, how much more difficult is it to predict where we will be, what we will be doing, what our lives will be like, what will be the place of the church, and how will it need to to be or adapt itself to be able to relate to a culture for which change is not just a buzzword, but an everyday reality. So it's interesting for us to talk about those exponential changes and how each generation sees the world a little differently from its own context based on the experiences and the things that were happening in the world, and how those things don't necessarily have to divide us. How our generational perspectives can actually, like a good stew, be all thrown together and with good conversation and understanding, create something that is far more delicious than we could have had on our own. I see that as one of the challenges for the church. We have developed processes to talk about some of the tough social issues of the day. We have not figured out or even talked about much generational perspectives and differences, and in the long run, I think that could cause us the potential for greater differences and even bigger misunderstandings, particularly as we try to figure out what it means to be and do church in the coming years. I'm convinced that the Church of the Brethren has a solid foundation of principles and core values that not only are important to us, but begin to meet some of the real needs of our current culture. I really do believe that the Church of the Brethren, as it takes ownership of its core values, is made for such a time as this. In a violent world, we know something about nonviolence and peace. In a materialistic world, we know a little bit about what it means to struggle with simple living. And in an individualistic society like ours, we know something about what it takes to be in community, even when we don't always agree. Based on those three things, I think the Brethren have a good future. I'm not convinced that those are necessarily our core values. In fact, I think we really only have a couple core values, like Jesus. For 300 years, we've been a people who have sought to take His word seriously and not pick and choose the ones that we like or dislike, but really wrestle with the ones that are challenging. And when we hear or see an action verb of Jesus's, we try to put that into action ourselves. I think that's perhaps the common denominator that holds us together and will continue to hold us together in the future. Well, thanks for taking this time to be with me, even as it is sort of in this strange way through technology. I look forward to the time when I can be back in the Virlina District, maybe at Camp Bethel again sometime, and I offer and pray for special blessings as you all gather this weekend to be the body of Christ in the Virlina District, and encourage you to try to make your way to Pittsburgh next summer, the place where all of us can gather. Everyone is invited around the table to be the body of Christ known as the Church of the Brethren. I hope you'll be able to come join us and be with us as we discern God's will for the Church of the Brethren in the coming days and years. Thanks. God bless.